Good evening, people. 22:30, time of recording. Um, I'm gonna map out today's session. Okay. It's Monday today. Usually, I let Monday just reveal what the upcoming week is going to do. But we've had good opportunities today. So let's start with Asia. Asia Princess first high. Pretty sure it was here 12:15, 12:30. Let's double check that. Yeah, 12:15, 12:30. Flat bodies facing to the upside. Okay, flat bodies facing to the upside. It prints breach 1, breach 2. Okay, breach 1 and breach 2. Uh, breach 1 and breach 2. Then we got first low 115, 130. Delta candle prints at 115. So requirements are New York is low to high, so long inventory. Yeah, so for the inverse, yeah, we would need a bearish candle with bullish delta. So if we go to 115 right here, 115, bearish candle, downside candle with bullish delta, positive delta. Okay, and that's delta. That's delta candle during um Asia. So Asia's discovery is to the upside. Okay, Asia's discovery is to the upside. So meaning it has to print um breaches to the upside first. So it has to print. So we got pending two breaches to the upside from the first high, but from the first low, we've got breach 1, breach 2. So we got upside breaches pending from the first high. Okay, that's in order for delta to be used. Yeah, but see how we got this can count as two micro breaches to the upside. Okay, so micro breaches can be accepted temporarily, okay, temporarily by the market, which explains why Asia was able to move to the downside. Okay, so there's two types of breaches. I explained in one of the recordings, but I'll go for it again. Let's say this is first low. Okay, we got breach 1, breach 2, then we'll go breach 1, breach 2, closes back above. This is a micro breach. So this can be accepted temporarily by the market, meaning that discovery during that time is complete. Yeah, if it's accepted. Yeah. So then after it can go and do its thing. But price does have to return to complete the full breaches, which is this breach 1, breach 2. Okay. So Asia's discoveries to the upside. Why? Because New York low to high and printed delta candle at 545. Yeah, meaning Asia's discovery is to the upside. Okay. On the case that there's no delta, okay, for example here, London didn't print any delta on the 3rd of July, yeah, meaning New York's discovery is the opposite. So if there's no delta, yeah, so let's say this is Asia and there's no delta, London's discovery would be to the downside. Yeah, let's say this is Asia again, but there's delta. Yeah, if there's delta printed, the next session, so London session would be upside discovery. Okay, meaning the breaches have to print it upside first in order to keep on moving lower. So yes, micro breaches were accepted by the market, meaning which explains the move to the downside by Asia. Okay, we got upside breaches pending. So now we know, yeah, with Asia, now we know that we got upside breaches pending. We got Asia's discovery pending. Okay, that's one. Cool. We move on to London. So let's take this up for a second. We have what's it? That's my first look. Okay. So first low is right here. This is our first low. Flat bodies facing to the downside. 930, 945. Okay. 930, 945. We got 1, 2, breach 1 and breach 2 to the downside. Okay. Cool. Now we got upside breaches. Okay. We have that new session. So what's the first high? The first high is pretty sure it's here. Yeah, 115. There you go. 115 breaches. I mean first high. Okay. Flat bodies facing to the upside. Now London's discoveries to the downside. Right? Asia short inventory. Prince Delta. London short inventory. I mean discovery to the downside. Okay. So breach 1 and 2 to the downside from the first low. Okay. First high, breach 1. Okay. Breach 2, micro breach, temporarily accepted. Okay. So that's fine. We can work with this. If market accepts this, we can work with this. Okay. Now, obviously, session time. The session runs out of time. Okay. Now we got once we get first high, breach 1 and breach 2. New York session is already about to open, meaning now we got New York's discovery pending. Okay, we got New York's discovery pending. Cool, but if we take Asia high to Asia low, okay, Asia high to Asia low, we see first tap to the 118. London runs out of time. Okay, push. Comes back 118, 127 stop push. Okay, so earlier we took longs from there. We took longs from there. Okay, from the 118 and 127. We took longs from there. This was a move of 400, just shy of 400 pips. Okay, so we got our first high. I'm pretty sure we got it late. Yeah, first high 415, 430. So our first high came pretty late. Okay, we got so London printed delta. Yep, meaning so London short inventory with delta. New York's discovery is to the downside. New York's discovery is to the downside. Okay, so now we can see, yeah, of the first high that we got downside breaches pending. We need 2 breaches below. Okay, we need 2 breaches below. But obviously, what New York did, this is not exits. Whatever happened here is not random. Whatever happened here, yeah, came what? So New York pushed to the upside because we had breaches pending from London. We had breaches pending from London. So first low 930, 945. Okay, we got breaches pending. Yeah, and that's what New York went and did. So London and New York were working together. Okay, so New York went up of the 127, pushed to the upside to complete London's upside breaches, and it did. Okay, right. We got breach 1 and breach 2. Okay, first high as well. We got breach 1. Yeah, and we got breach 1 and breach 2, 7:15. So that's what New York did. London, New York was helping London complete its own discovery. Okay, so first high, breach is complete. I mean, first low, breach is complete. First high, breach is complete to the upside. Cool. Now, that's why, this is the reason why we went longs from the 127. Longs, obviously 127, 118 reaction levels. Cool, we know that. We got London to New York inverse. Okay, everything is adding up. We got breaches to the upside pending. So this is why we went longs from here. Okay, but now we had to exit. Yeah, this would have kept on going if breaches to the downside were complete. So from the first high, the breaches to the downside were complete, and the first low, which is right, should start with yeah. And from the first low, right here, we got breaches pending to the downside, and like we said, New York's discoveries to the downside because London's inventory to the downside with Delta. Yeah. So we got breaches to the downside. So if those breaches were complete, this would have kept on going all the way to Asia. Yeah, but the reason it didn't, and the reason we had to exit around London's high, is because we got New York's discovery pending. So New York has to do its own thing. It has to print the first high, which we got, first low, which we got. Yeah, we got upside breaches, but that's not the discovery. The discovery is to the downside because of London's inventory. London low with data, so discovery of New York to the downside. Okay, so we need those breaches to the downside first in order for New York to push higher. Okay, so now we know we got this pending, downside breaches pending from New York, meaning we had to exit it, meaning London high remains protected. Yeah, could remain protected. I'm not saying now price is not gonna go all the way here. It can, of course it can, but so far now, based on what I'm seeing, yeah, London high remains protected. I see this candle rejects and no other candles going above it. Price staying below that. We can see that London high is getting protected. It's been protected because we got New York's discovery pending to the downside. Okay, but we took good longs from it. We took good longs from here of the 118, 127. We scaled our exposure, so we added exposures on top. Okay, so from delta low, yeah, from delta low, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, delta low, we took another entry. Everything went well. Okay, we caught 500 pips in total around it, and then we hedged. That then from London high we started going short. Why? Because it remains protected. Because we got downside discovery pending to the downside. You see that? So now you should know the reason behind every single move. You should know why New York. You should in the moment you should have known why New York is going to the upside because we got London's discovery pending. Because we got upside breaches pending from London. Okay, London completed its own downside breaches. Okay, so we had um, first low, first high downside breaches complete, meaning now we can go now price can go higher and complete the upside breaches, and that's what New York is doing on behalf of London. Okay, so there was a reason behind this move. Yeah, there was a reason. Now there's a reason why price stood around here because we got New York's discovery. We got New York's downside breaches pending in order for price to push higher. Yeah. So this is the sort of things you need to know. You need to know why the why behind every single move because there's a why behind every single move, and you need to know why and you need to be on point. Yeah. Usually, if downside breaches were pending, I mean were complete from first high and first low from New York, I would have held this all the way to Asia high, but it wasn't. So I knew price had to stall, and then I saw it stall. Yeah, and then we could have seen you push a bit lower, but we didn't. It just stalled. Yeah, and it stayed below London high. So don't be surprised if you see now maybe either New York stalling or delivering for Asia to push lower and complete New York's downside breaches or Asia London New York Asia inverse. Don't be surprised. Or who knows? You know, it could push higher and then force rate it. We'll take as it comes. But this is what I was seeing today. This is what I was seeing, and see how quickly I just mapped out everything, and there's a reason behind every single move. You know, Asia managed to push to the downside because the market accepted the micro breaches. Yeah, but we still need two breaches to the upside. Okay, we still need the full breaches to the upside. So we got upside breaches pending. Yeah, but now even though we got a bunch of upside and downside breaches pending, a bunch of them. Cool. So you need to understand what the priority is. Cool. So now priority is in order for price to push higher, it needs to complete downside breaches. Yeah. And vice versa, of course, it needs to complete upside breaches in order to push downside. Yeah. But that's why you don't need to take every single move you see. Yeah. So if you need to miss a move, yeah, from here to here, yeah, when prices complete and breaches, and then from here that's when you can start taking longs. Of course, you would have missed a 500 pip move, but you can catch another 500 to the upside easily. Yeah. So sometimes you just have to wait. Let the market tell you, cool. Now we're gonna go on and complete downside breaches, for example, and then after that, that's when you can start thinking, cool. Now I can start thinking of entering. Yeah. Or maybe price is gonna go to the upside, complete Asia's breaches, and then push to the downside. Yeah. So yes, there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of things. What is the priority right now? What should I be prioritizing? Longs or shorts? Well, there's gonna be times you're gonna have to miss the shorts or the longs in order to enter a position. Yeah. But just wait, stay patient. Yeah. Go out there, do your thing. Let discovery do its thing. So let each session print the first high, print the first low, print the breaches, and after that, you can see what the priority is. You can see what the market wants to do or wants to stop doing. Yeah. Like I said, yes, you might miss out on a move of like on a 500 pip move to either side, but then you can recover that knowing that now, if that side completed downside breaches, it's for a reason. It's because price, in order to push even higher, it needs to complete the downside breaches first. You know, that's how you understand. That's how you sort of see the priority. Yeah, you'll miss out on things. That's all right. We got time. We can we can benefit from a lot of moves after missing a lot of them too. But that's fine. But we'll take as it comes. We'll see what is about to open in about 10 minutes, 12 minutes. We'll see what New York does until Asia, and then I'll keep you guys updated once I start seeing some movement.